Are you looking for a job as a general nurse, theater nurse, ODPS, community nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurses, midwives, sterile services, domiciliary services? Then look no further. Bright Stars Plus Healthcare Agency have vacancies with good pay rates in London, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridge, South England, West Midlands, Sussex, and North of England. To apply, visit www.brightstarplus.com or you can call us on 073 890 64632. The number again, 073 890 64632 or email info@brightstarplus.com. Bright Star Plus, the best in recruitment agency.
I know. So improve but degree. Okay, what about but degree? No when you secretary with fees. Exciting, huh? Yes. Say your first degree and now masters. UK abai betimi amal grant and now scholarship and a financial support. Now they are school about degree. Our courses be brave. UK degree and a masters fully sponsored. Say UK abai betimi amal up to £21,000 every year. Now what your school fees about degree. So how do you go about it? A simple cry. Gem Educational Consultants ever with your application. Now also what me and your KB. Now what your degree. So British passport, indefinite, and now EU passport, 18 and now 55 years. When so what me and your KB. Now what your degree. Even for first degree, no. Apart from so we up to £21,000, no. I buy your school fees near the end now. Any for 079 04 79 3019 or visit us at 51 Albany Road, Hornchurch, RM12 4RE. Email pastorjoeka@yahoo.com. Mesika nefetua fees, but degree.
All I can see, sometimes.
It's one of the most prestigious events in the UK calendar. Our goal, recognizing and celebrating excellence within the British Ghanaian community. This July, Guba is celebrating 2 days of entrepreneurship and awards. On Friday, the 13th of July 2018, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Join us for the entrepreneurship seminar. Then on the second day, a celebration of excellence, Guba Awards 2018. That's Saturday, the 14th of July, from 5:30 p.m. till midnight. It's the time of the year for us to network, meet the stars, and celebrate our great future. The venue, the luxurious Intercontinental Hotel O2, 1 Waterview Drive, Greenwich, London, SE10 0TW. His Excellency, the President of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will be our special guest of honor. Grab your tickets now from www.guberawards.co.uk. Dress code, black tie or traditional only. For sponsorship opportunities, just email george@guberawards.co.uk or call 079 569 45360. Guber Awards 2018, celebrating excellence. The Guber Awards 2018 is proudly sponsored by Ecom Ghana.
Listen to Aunties Mary, Lottie, and Regina on the Family Enrichment Program on Starr Radio UK. This and every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Some people are wicked because don't make it your business going about revealing
people's secrets. Don't be a busybody.
And some people. Today's typical family is under pressure from various directions. Divorce is on the increase. More and more of the Afro-Caribbean youth are taking to crime, etc. The Family Enrichment Program brings together a team of qualified experts to discuss and shed light on how we can make our families better and stronger. It is said the family can do without the society, but the society can't. Listen to the Family Enrichment Program this and every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Starr Radio UK, your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Download our app in iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Do you feel left out in your education or career but still want to do something about it? Then don't fret. If you are a resident in the UK, British or EU citizen, then there is hope for you. You are in the age bracket of 21 to 55. The UK government is offering grants, scholarships, and financial support for first degree to masters in various courses. The government will pay all your fees and you can educate yourself in a peace of mind. From £21,000 per year for first degree, etc. Get in touch with GEM Educational Consultancy and we will guide you in applying for this facility. We are situated at 51 Albany Road, Hornchurch. The postcode is RM12 4AE. Telephone 079 0479 3019 or email us pastorjoeka@yahoo.com. Get financial support and acquire a degree. Are you looking for a job as a general nurse, theater nurse, ODPS, community nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurses, midwives, sterile services, domiciliary services? Then look no further. Bright Stars Plus Healthcare Agency have vacancies with good pay rates in London, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridge, South England, West Midlands, Sussex, and North of England. To apply, visit www.brightstarplus.com or you can call us on 073 890 64632. The number again, 073 890 64632 or email info@brightstarplus.com. Bright Star Plus, the best in recruitment agency.
I know. So improve your but degree. Okay, what about so but degree? No when you secret your fees. Exciting, huh? Yes. Say your first degree and now masters. UK abai betimi amal grant and now scholarship and financial support. Now they are school about degree. Our courses be brave. UK degree and masters fully sponsored. Say UK abai betimi amal up to £21,000 every year. Now what your school fees about degree. So, how do you go about it? A simple cry. GEM Educational Consultants ever born with your application. Now, also what me and your sassy KB. Now, what your degree? So, British passport, indefinite, and now EU passport, 18 and now 55 years. When so what me and your sassy KB. Now, what your degree? Even for first degree, no. Apart from so we up to £21,000, no. Abai bet your school fees near the end amount. Any for 079 04 79 3019 or visit us at 51 Albany Road, Hornchurch, RM12 4RE. Email pastorjoeka@yahoo.com. Mesika nefetua fees, but degree.
It's one of the most prestigious events in the UK calendar. Our goal, recognizing and celebrating excellence within the British Ghanaian community. This July, Guba is celebrating 2 days of entrepreneurship and awards. On Friday, the 13th of July 2018, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Join us for the entrepreneurship seminar. Then on the second day, a celebration of excellence, Guba Awards 2018. That's Saturday, the 14th of July, from 5:30 p.m. till midnight. It's the time of the year for us to network, meet the stars, and celebrate our great future. The venue, the luxurious Intercontinental Hotel O2, 1 Waterview Drive, Greenwich, London, SE10 0TW. His Excellency, the President of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will be our special guest of honor. Grab your tickets now from www.guberawards.co.uk. Dress code, black tie or traditional only. For sponsorship opportunities, just email george@guberawards.co.uk or call 079 569 45360. Guber Awards 2018, celebrating excellence. The Guber Awards 2018 is proudly sponsored by Ecom Ghana.
Listen to Aunties Mary, Lottie, and Regina on the Family Enrichment Program on Starr Radio UK. This and every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Some people are wicked because don't make it your business going about revealing
people's secrets. Don't be a busybody.
And some people.
Today's typical family is under pressure from various directions. Divorce is on the increase. More and more of the Afro-Caribbean youth are taking to crime, etc. The Family Enrichment Program brings together a team of qualified experts to discuss and shed light on how we can make our families better and stronger. It is said the family can do without the society, but the society can't. Listen to the Family Enrichment Program this and every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Starr Radio UK, your favourite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Download our app in iTunes and the Google Play Store.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
All around the world.
Yes, wedding cooling over Satan power. As I ain't cooling more. I'm an overcomer. Yes, wedding kunimo over Satan power. As I ain't in kunimo. See, I'm an overcomer. I say yes, wedding kuni.
Yes, wedding kuni over Satan power. As I ain't kuni. I'm an overcomer.
I say yes, wedding kunimo.
Yes, wedding kuni over Satan power. Desire kuni. I'm an overcomer.
I'm a dinner. Come into Hosanna.
Hosanna.
I'm for Hinarbo.
Hosanna.
Jesus Narbano.
Hosanna.
I'm for Hinarbo.
Hosanna.
Come into Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Jesus Narbano.
Hosanna.
I mean, I won't bother say.
Hosanna.
Jesus Narbano.
Hosanna.
Who is this King of glory? He's a lot strong and mighty. Yes, wedding kunimo. See, I'm an overcomer. Listen, no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper. For the greater one lives in me, yes, he does. Yes, yes, wedding kunimo. See, I'm an overcomer. I say yes, wedding kuni.
Yes, wedding kuni
I'll say
over Satan power. Desire kuni.
see, I'm an overcomer.
I'm an overcomer.
I say yes, wedding kuni.
Yes, wedding kuni over Satan power. Desire kuni. I'm an overcomer.
I'm a ding now.
handkerchief. One get to Hosanna. Hosanna. Are you for Hosanna.
Hello and welcome to Starr Radio, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. You are welcome to the Family Enrichment Program, which aims at putting spices in your family life to make it richer, fuller, and to bring about a positive impact. I'm Lottie, your host, and with me in the studio today is Auntie Regina. We apologize for the late starting of the program. We had some technical issues. Auntie Regina,
Yes.
It's good to have you in the studio. It's been a while since we've been here.
I know. It's good to be back. It's
Yes.
good to be here. It's a pleasure to be in your company. It's been a while. I've missed you so much. And I've missed the listeners so much.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon.
Okay. I want to give thanks to the Almighty God for His goodness.
That's right. Amen.
He has kept us, and by His grace we are here. We are healthy.
Yes.
And I thank Him so much. After we did the domestic violence subject, I became a victim myself. And I just thank God. Not my husband, but somebody within the family.
Right.
Yes, there was an attempt on my life. And I'm so grateful to God that if it had not been Him, I won't be here today.
Wow, we thank God.
Yeah.
We thank
So
God
I thank
for
God
His
for that,
mercies.
for His mercies.
Amen.
I'm still here
Yeah.
and carrying on the assignment He's given us.
Praise God. Praise God.
Once again, I want to say a big welcome to our listeners in the UK and across the globe for standing with us, for your continued support. Our topic for today is parenting. I know it's a big one because a lot of the time you hear people say, oh, no one taught you anything, no one told you how it's going to be like, because there's no formal training with parenting. So we'll try today to look into what parenting is, what are some of the factors that influences our style of parenting, and what are the different types of parenting out there. And I hope that our listeners will call in as soon as possible, because each and every one of us, adults and within certain ages, have become a parent in one capacity or the other.
Yes.
Because it's not parenting is not exclusive to just biological parents. Sometimes even as an older sibling, you can become a parent to your younger ones. So we are interested in your opinions and your contributions, your experiences that may help somebody listening today, for them to be able to look at their way of parenting, to learn something, to change something for the betterment of children. And as this is a family enrichment program, we are all about the positives.
That's right.
Yes.
Amen. That's so good. That is so good.
Auntie Regina, do you want to say hello to anyone out there?
Yes. Hello to all our listeners once again. A special welcome to the program. Hello to the family, all those that are been supporting. Hello to my children. Hello to everyone.
Yes.
The extended family, the immediate family. Hello to everybody. Friends, foes, all of you. Greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Amen. And a big hello to Auntie Mary.
Hi, Auntie Mary. We love you.
We love you so much and we miss you. We know that circumstance couldn't allow you to be here today.
And I think she really has to come, because before we exhaust this topic, She has to come and stamp her ink on it. Her signature must be on this. Auntie Mary, your signature must be on this topic. In Jesus' name.
Amen. 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 I'm sure she will come in before we finish.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay. A big hello to my brother George Morrison and his family in US. All the Morrison family in Ghana. My brother Dr. Isaac Morrison. Herbert, Stella, my sister Sharon, Ade Teller, my colleague in Croydon, all the members of Bible Life Family Ministries in Croydon and MK. Special greetings to you, and I hope you've all tuned in and would like to hear from you as well, and all our listeners, as I said earlier on. Okay, if you've just tuned in, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station, and this is the Family Enrichment Program, and our topic for today is parenting. We are discussing parenting. The number to call in is 0208 133 2257 or 0208 133 2258. To call us from US or Canada is 001 718 303 2737. Text or WhatsApp is 075 3966 1744. And before we start, I want to say a massive hello to my brother-in-law Kwame, who is in South Africa. He said to me, Auntie, I always listen to you and I enjoy listening to you. So thank you so much, Kwame, and thank you to all the Hammond family in Ghana for your support as well. Okay, Auntie Regina.
Yes, ma'am.
Parenting.
Yes.
Parenting. It's a big responsibility.
It is.
It's what makes society, the way we bring up our children to be either good citizens of society or to bring chaos into society. So we often talk about parenting. What do we mean? Parenting.
Yes, we've got a few definitions here, but as always, these are not exhaustive.
Yeah.
Often we take the ones that pertains to the ideas that we want to share, and that is what we kind of share with our friends and listeners. So parenting or child rearing is the process of promoting, supporting the physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development of a child. It goes on to say that from infancy to adulthood, this is not exclusive to biological relationships. So basically that is one of the definitions that are out there. So it's the process of supporting or rearing, in other words, bringing up. You're bringing up a child, and you're supporting them from and promoting their physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development.
Yeah.
And these are the bits that makes who we are. Yeah. Without these aspects, we are nobody.
Yeah.
All of us have a physical structure. We all have emotions. We have our social life and our intellectual life. I guess for us Christians, we have to add the spiritual aspect as well.
Yeah.
Because bringing up a child is our responsibility as Christians or anyone of any faith.
Yeah.
You include that in your parenting. So that is it. And it's from infancy to adulthood, and this is not exclusive to biological children.
Yeah.
So it's not just your biological children that you're bringing up. It's not just your biological children that you're supporting. The thing is, as we develop this topic, we would see, for us that come from if you like, the ethnic background. The ethnic backgrounds, we tend to have a big family.
Yeah.
Our family tend to go beyond, and we will see that. And in the Western world, it goes beyond when we talk about other aspects where you become a parent. There are other means where one can become a parent. You don't have to be a biological mother or father to be a parent. And there are some parents out there that are doing it individually, and there are others that are doing with support. But if we go as we develop the topic, I think we will get to a point where it becomes more clear as to the bigger picture that we have when it comes to parenting.
Okay. Shall we read a scripture that talks about parenting?
Okay.
What from our religious background, this people have different faiths, but we are talking about our faith. So whatever your faith works for you, you can apply that. But we are going with what works for us.
Okay, shall I expand this before I read the scripture? Okay, so this says that although the most common form of parenting is the biological parents of a child, but this is not exclusive. There are other forms, and the other forms may include older siblings, grandparenting, legal guardian, aunt, uncle, others, members of the family. And so on and so forth. So when we kind of go into it, there is the process where one become a parent through adoption or fostering, and all these things we will look into it as we deal with the topic. So the biblical scripture, the Bible scripture that supports this view of parenting and being a parent to a child. We are looking at it from Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. For those of us that are Christians, we're looking at it from Proverbs 22, verse 6, and I'm reading the New King James translation. The New King James translation or version. So it simply says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So train. Now the question beckons, what is to train? So train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And it so much ties in with the description or the definition we have for parenting. So when you are rearing a child to adulthood, so when you train up this child, you are training that child in a way that when he is old, he's not going to depart from it. And when you talk about social skills and you talk about development, whatever a child develops from childhood, whatever traits, whatever characteristics, whatever things they learn, that's why education is so important. You take your child to schooling, it is so important. So whatever you impact in that child's life from childhood, good or bad, that's what's gonna stick with them for the rest of their life. That's who they're going to be. So it is so key that on this program, Family Enrichment, we look at this topic. We are all our parents. Some of us are grandparents. I can't wait. But some of us are grandparents. You see how I'm edging towards that side? Are my children listening?
In their own time.
In their own time. Praise God.
No pressure.
So some of us are grandparents. Some are great grandparents. I have a colleague who is a great grandparent. And I sat down with her and I said, what does it feel like to be a great grandparent? She looked at me and said, what's wrong with you? I said, but I just want to know. I've never had that experience. And you seem to be having it, and you are still working, you are still healthy, you are still young. When I think of great grandparent, I didn't see any. I saw grandparents, but I never saw any of my great grandparents. But you are blessed enough to be a great grandmother. So what does it feel like? She just looked at me and she said nothing. She said, you cuckoo woman. And she walked away. But later on she came back and she said, you know what? It is nice. I get to spoil them. I get to do, you can have them for a while. And the good thing is you are able to give them back. And I looked at her and said, you are the cuckoo one, not me. I want to keep them all the time. My daughter was telling me just recently, I want a baby so I can babysit. I said, really? Then get a job in a nursery. She said, no, mommy, that's too stressful. There's too many babies around. I want a good baby that I can babysit for 2-3 hours, then I'll give it back. And I'm like, okay. So, it's a good thing when you're a parent. It's a good thing. You have the opportunity to build something that is unique.
Yes. And the Bible says that children are a gift
from the
God.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have the opportunity to build something with that life, that gift that God has given you.
Yeah.
Something that you can be proud of. Okay. Now, if you're listening to us and it hasn't gone too well, we are not here to criticize.
Yeah.
But it is an opportunity from the onset, right from the beginning. It's an opportunity for you to build something that you can be proud of. And as you said, we are looking at the positives.
Yeah.
We will maybe look at the negatives to see if there's any help out there. Maybe someone is listening to us that need that kind of social support.
Yeah.
That's why this program is here. So we can get to that place, but we want to start from the basics, as from the foundation. So what is parenting? Bringing up a child, supporting them, promoting them to grow up physically, emotionally, socially, intellectually, spiritually, to develop themselves from childhood, from infancy to adulthood. And this is not exclusive. So that's what parenting is about. And the Bible from Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 says, train up a child. Train. I like that word, train. And we have to kind of have that at the back of our mind. Whatever we are doing with our children, it is from that perspective, it's from that inclination, it's from that understanding.
Yeah, training them with love.
We are impacting something. We are giving them something. Parenting is the only social skill that exists without any form of formal training. It is the only social skill that exists, that is in circulation, that is part and parcel of us, that has no formal training. Even if you're going to work at a till, they will get you to, they will train you how to use that particular equipment, that till, how to punch in things and how to scan things. They will give you in-house training how to use that machine.
But with this, you learn as you go along.
Parenting, the moment the baby comes out, you are a parent. Even the midwives and the nurses in the hospital, they can't teach you anything.
Nobody can teach
They can teach you how the baby can suck,
Yeah.
but they can't teach you anything beyond that.
Yes.
You learn as you go.
Along, because every child is unique. And as I was researching this, I was saying to myself that even among my children, because they are all different, the way I've for a lack of better word, train them, it's been different. The way I've been with the first, the second, and now I'm still in training with the last one. Because the challenges that I've faced at every stage with each of them has been different.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And that is the thing, because our children, as human beings, we're all different.
Yeah.
Even twins have their uniqueness. We are all very different. Yeah. And if you're a mother of multiple children or a parent of multiple children, you would testify to the fact that not two of them were identical.
No.
There might be similarities, but there was no identical upbringing, and that's where the frustration comes in. I mean, from my personal experience, that's where the frustration comes in, because you have one child that you can tell sit, and the child will sit till you come and tell get up, and you have another one that you say sit, and they will run after you before you take the next step. And you think, why are you so different? Why are you so difficult?
The whys comes in. Why should I sit?
Oh my, that's it. That's the whole thing. That's where the problem is. So it can be one of the issues, you know. This bit says raising kids is one of the toughest and most fulfilling jobs in the world. It says that the whole system, you are least prepared for it. You are least prepared for it. I mean, there is no description or prescription that you could take to go and bring up a child, to raise a child. There isn't one out there. There are so many books, there are so many researches, so many articles that kind of help people to maybe navigate challenging waters. But as a parent, there is never a prescription for you to take.
I'm thinking when you go to for counseling, mother and baby units, they look at the challenges that you are facing at that particular time and try to
address that.
But what comes beyond that particular situation, nobody can say. So you are never prepared for the next step.
You can't be, because life is fluid, dynamic, and it's ever changing.
Yes.
Now, I mean, parenting is from infancy. When a child, you give them bottle, as we say, you feed them, they burp, they go to sleep. You go and do your thing. They don't stay like that for long, not for very long. They become a toddler, they start crawling around the house, they start walking, they start picking things. Your life becomes upside down. Your neatly arranged living room, bedroom, everything starts changing. You have to put things out of their reach, and every time they grow a couple of inches, you are putting the thing a couple of inches higher. And life goes on. It gets to a point, and then the challenges of taking them to school, dropping them off, buying things for them and all that. So parenting, it cannot be, there is no prescription.
No.
But it is very fulfilling, and that is something I want everybody to kind of understand. We as parents can testify that after the long haul, at the end of the destination, you can say to yourself that, oh, I've done well.
And it never ends until you are 6 feet under. Once a parent, you are a parent for life. Because in the definition somewhere it says till adulthood.
Till adulthood, yes. Yes, right, from infancy to adulthood.
But where is the cutting off point? There's no cutting off point. You have different responsibilities, different take on things, not being so much involved, but you're still involved in a way. It doesn't end. It doesn't.
And there's no end to it. Parenting it's a big thing. There is just it's ongoing. There is no end to it. There's no breaks. You cannot go on holiday. You cannot go on holiday from parenting. You can get rest, and by all means look to get rest when time, seasons, things are on top of you, because it's 24/7. To be a parent is 24/7, 365 days or 66 days in a year. There is no breaks. You don't stop. When you're at work, your children need you. When you are in bed asleep, your children need you. Every time and all the time that your children need you. I mean, today I went to a program, and the man that was sharing, the pastor that was sharing something, he said, I don't go to bed, I don't sleep when my children are not at home. As a parent, you are in bed, but you are not asleep. You're not resting. And if the children don't come home at the agreed time, the anxiety level rises, and things gets even worse. And then the sad thing as a parent you get these days in this modern world is the children, when they say my phone was out of battery, so you can't reach them. So these are some of the challenges, and as we go along, we will dive into it. I mean, we will look at the cultural aspects, our upbringing back in the age, back in the modern days. I mean, now we have to look at the two. The way we were brought up as children. I had a very strict parents. They were very strict, but they were very loving. They balanced it as far as I can understand now. Maybe at the time I probably didn't agree with them, but now I can see that they were trying to strike a balance, or they did try to strike a balance. But I would say I had a very strict upbringing, if you like. It was so defined that if you stepped out of the boundaries, there were consequences for you. And that was it. Take it or leave it. There were no leeways. You couldn't negotiate. I dare ask why.
and that falls into the different types of different styles
of parenting. The different styles of parenting.
And shall we go through those?
Yes. By all means.
Okay. This was defined by a lady called Diane Borind. And initially it was 3 areas, and then a 4th one was added to it. And it says authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. Yeah. And you've described the authoritarian, which is parents being rigid, very strict, and not able to negotiate things with them. Yeah. And most of the time, if you step out of line, it came with a punishment.
The authoritative one.
Yes. No, the authoritarian.
The authoritarian. Okay.
Yeah. The authoritative is saying that the parents are more flexible, and there is kind of structure and give and take. They are more into having a relationship and being interested, reasoning with the child within limits. Yeah. And because when a situation arises, they would rather talk it through with you rather than being rigid. So there's less need for punishment,
for confrontation, and
within,
conflict.
Yeah, within that. And I'm assuming that this is describing some children of probably not infancy.
No.
Yeah. People that at an age you can reason with, you can talk
teenagers
to,
perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take on the permissive one, and then it
Okay.
will flow through as we discuss. We will touch on them more in depth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the third one, or one of the fourth, is use reasoning. The permissive one, it says use reason and explanation. Happy child, but have low level of self-control. No rules. So no correction. So over compensating.
Yeah.
So with the permissive one, so as a parent, if you're a permissive parent, you're overcompensating.
Yeah.
There are no rules. There are no levels of self-control from, it's both sides. So, and then the reasoning and explanation. So you as a parent having to explain yourself. I don't think I was brought up in that. That wasn't my type of upbringing.
I mean, most of us from Africa wouldn't fit into that box.
So here, no, there's no correction. Oh my goodness, there's no correction. So if you're a parent and you're listening to us and this is what you're doing, then maybe you need to, because you see, Auntie Lottie, parenting, what you're actually doing is you are instilling family values.
Yes.
You are instilling family values. You are directing the child. What the scripture that we read, talking about training.
Yeah.
You are directing the child. You are directing them from nowhere, because as a child, their information, their exposure to the world is through your eyes, through your understanding as a parent, through your values, through your opinions. So this is what parenting is about. So you're sharing these things with them, and you're kind of teaching them how to socially be viable.
Yeah. And it's like a child going to school for the first time. You are building the foundation, putting the necessary blocks in there for them to build on it as they grow. So if you don't get the foundation right, then there's going to be problems further down the line.
Yeah, because, it's sad when you hear stories, but we've heard stories about children being excluded from school, children not being allowed in classes or certain schools. And you see, these things impact negatively on the child, not positively, because every time the child has to go against something in order for them, and then in order for them to be able to express themselves, then in the end they still don't get their desired result. It becomes a challenge. It impacts negatively. But as a parent, you have to have skills, you have to have techniques, you have to instill certain values. You have to teach the child and allow the child to explore and learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes, experience through learning, they can develop their self-esteem. We will talk about that, and they will develop themselves. Even intellectually, if you allow and instill certain values in your child and let your child learn through experience, not without control. Where it says there's no level of control, that's not what we're talking about. There always have to be a level of control. And control doesn't mean that you are forcing the child. When we talk about control from our background, it means force. Insisting. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about controlling the eventual outcome. And it's a skill. It's a technique that we all as parents need to learn. And as I'm saying, unfortunately, when we stepped out to be parents and anybody come in, there's no description. But this program is here. If you know somebody who is having problems, who is having a challenge, it's good for them to tune in this afternoon. Share the program on Facebook. Let people know that there is help out there. There may not be a formal training. You cannot go to any institution to be trained to become a parent because there's no job out there that pays you as a parent. But there is help out there, and there are various forms of help that you can access. So the techniques, there's a way that you have to discipline your child, which as the program develops, we can talk about discipline your child. I know we've done that before, how to discipline, because it's not the kind of discipline we know.
The ones we went through.
It's not that kind of discipline. But there's a way that you can discipline your child. There's a way that your child can take responsibility for their own actions. And as a parent, that is where the fulfilling and the rewarding part comes in. I mean, when your child sits and reasons with you, and you can also learn from that child. The modern way of parenting is give and take. And that is where maybe the authoritative bit comes in. Though you are having that authority, but you still have to have room for giving and taking. You cannot insist everything to be your way or no way. As we grew up. Today is 21st century.
You can't say anything. You can't ask questions. You just take what you're told.
It is, gone are the days, because we didn't actually flourish. We grew up and we were responsible, but we did not, if you like, thrive as much as we would have if there were other opportunities, if there were other avenues. As a parent, give your children opportunities in life. Parenting is allowing, you're instilling, you're training, you're teaching, you're guiding, you're directing, but allow your children the opportunity also to flourish. Because if you box them too much into a corner, and as a child, they are not able to spread their tentacles and explore and get to experience things, it limits them.
It does.
It sets them back. It sets them back.
And even it affects their self-esteem, how their boldness. When they are out there emotionally, that is where the emotional development we are talking about comes in. Psychologically, spiritually, these are the factors, because you are impacting all of you're training them in all these aspects. That's why, unfortunately, when a parent is deemed unfit, the children will be taken away. Unfortunately, when a parent is deemed unfit, and they don't do it lightly.
No, from your background, I'm sure you have a lot to tell us. That's why you're stepping in there. No, definitely not. It's not done hastily. All the boxes have to be ticked. All factors have to be considered. Because parenting, sometimes it can be the grandparents. So it's not just the biological parent that needs to bring the child up. If the child emotional needs, psychological, spiritual, physical, whatever need is not being met by the biological parent, for example, they will be taken away. Unfortunately, and that can be very hurtful. But it is looking at the child's development and the child's needs. Someone will say, but what about the parents' needs? Yes, the parents' needs can be addressed, and at the appropriate time they can be reunited as a family. But if it's going to impede and hinder the child negatively, because society is unfortunately overflooded with negativity, and I think as a community we don't want to have any more. If we will find ways to control it. So society is looking at ways that they can help children and remove the negative impact and influences that affects children negatively, so that the children can thrive
and flourish as the next generation.
That's right.
Okay, the last one is uninvolved. When I read that, I was like, oh my goodness, how can you be not involved? But there are parents out there who are like that, unfortunately. Not showing any interest, providing the basic necessity, not interacting with their children on any level, not being interested in what they do. It's like I give you food, I give you clothing, I provide shelter for you. What more do you want? What problems can you have? But it's not as simple as that. Bringing a child up takes a lot of input and engagement, interaction, because you are preparing them for adulthood, and what you instill in them will shape them for the future, for life. So we have to express more, be more involved than just providing the basic necessities, because we all, even as adults, we crave for love, let alone a vulnerable child who cannot care for themselves. So
I mean, there's a saying that everybody can be a father, but few can be a dad. Everybody and anybody can be a father, and I guess it's true for a mother. Anybody and everybody can be a mother, but few people can be a dad or a mom, so to speak. So it's not just about bringing children into the world. That does not make you a parent. In fact, that does not tick the box for you to be a parent. That is not the description of a parent. But the parent is somebody who can show love, care, consideration, give the child attention, guidance. And some of us, we do it, and as we look at our own ethnic backgrounds, we do it extensively. We go beyond our own biological children that we have. And some even do it from the fostering point of view. Some do it from other forms. So it's not about going in and giving birth to a child that makes you a parent. It's far beyond that. And society is grateful for men and women who are out there that do this job and do it effectively and do it very well. Society is grateful. When you've done that and done that well, people respect you, people reward you, people appreciate you, and people even learn from you.
And even you feel proud of yourself when you look at the end result of what you've achieved through your child. But it's not an easy
It isn't. It's the least job that, you know, I guess if jobs are being offered, it's the least that most people will opt for or apply to be. But it is somebody's job. Somebody has to do it, and we all have to stand up and be accounted. This day and age, it's far and few in between, especially when we come to the Western world, from our various nations, because of the kind of lifestyles that we have, the kind of lifestyles that we are faced with, the kind of commitments that we have, we tend to neglect that kind of aspect from the community point of view. Because if you look at it from back home, as a parent, you've got your aunties in the house, you've got other siblings in the house, you've got extended family in the house that will be there.
Your neighbor,
they will be there to kind of keep an eye on things when you are not there. But here, within your four walls, it's you and the children. You know, and this applies to both parents, because there are homes that have dual parenting, but both parents are not there at some point. Both parents are not there, and the children are left to their own, and that can be a challenge. You know, we've heard stories where children have been removed because neighbors have complained that young children are left on their own for periods of hours on end, so they are taken away, and then the whole bigger picture of social issues then starts. So these things are not the same when it comes to, you know, when you're back home and you've got the extended family to support you. Here, if you have 3 children, 4 children, 2 children, 1 child, it's you and that child. And sometimes that's where wherever you go, your child is tailing you, because you just don't have anybody to leave that child with. So whatever you're doing, that is why it's so important that we get it right. Because the child spends so many hours with you. So everything you're doing, you have to be consciously conscious that somebody is depending on you and watching you. So when you're training that child, you cannot be, you know, a bystander. And train a child. There are people who have 1 foot in the house and 1 foot outside the house. So they come and go. They think they are part of the family, but they come and go as it pleases them. These are not good examples, and emotionally, psychologically, socially, we are not bringing the children up in the way that they should go. That when they grow, they won't depart from it. We are not doing that. So we need to kind of revisit these ideas that we have, these social norms that we grew up with back in the olden days, where if a child wants to be with you all the time, you think the child is stifling you and it's too much.
Okay, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. You are listening to Auntie Lottie and Auntie Regina on the Family Enrichment Program, and we are discussing parenting. And we've looked at what parenting is, and the definition that we gave, which is not exclusive or extensive, is Auntie Regina, can you read? Okay, I found it. It's parenting or child rearing is the process of promoting and supporting the physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. Although the most common form of parenting is the biological parents, but it is not exclusive to that. Other people may be involved, like the older siblings, grandparents, legal guardian, auntie, uncle, other family members, or family friend. And the government may sometimes assume parental responsibility. And there's adoption, foster care, and orphanage as well. So would like to hear your experience of parenting. We've said that parenting is one institution that there's no formal training, and you learn on the job as you go along. So we'd like to hear your experiences that will help somebody who is listening today. So do call us on 0208 133 2257 or 0208 133 2258. To call us from US or Canada is 001 718 303 2737, and to text or WhatsApp is 075 3966 1744. And we wait to hear about your experiences, your contribution, because we value them. Okay. Right. We've talked about the different types of parenting, and we've established that you cannot assume just one of it. There needs to be a balance, because it intertwines with each other, and you need a bit from here, a bit from there to bring up a child properly, to instill in them those values and to build their character and train them properly for life. So
I want to kind of on that one, when we're talking about the authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, those are the three positives, and then the uninvolved comes in as the fourth one, because of society changes. They have to come up with the fourth one. But let's look at positive approach to child upbringing or child rearing. So positive parenting uses techniques that work well for every child. We've talked about children being uniquely different. But positive parenting uses techniques that works well for every child. These techniques can build on your child's wishes to please you, which is very key, because you want that child, if you like, to become what you are training the child to be. So I'm not talking about educational skills here. I'm talking about social and emotional and, instilling family values. So when you're training that child and you're using these positive techniques, it builds on what the child would do, and the outcome will be what you desire. So it promotes the child's ability to develop themselves. We've talked about experiencing, allowing your child to explore and to experience certain things. So the importance of listening is very key. So when you're training your child, the importance of listening to yourself and listening to your child is key. Okay? And then loving your child is key. Showing that you love your child. Let your child also know that they are loved. I don't want to go there, but let me step on that toes. For some of us, to show love is a problem. I'm letting the producer leave the studio so I can talk. Showing love to our children. Some of us don't know how to tell our children, I love you.
Oh, you look gorgeous.
We don't praise our children. Okay, now when the child was a baby, because the child started from somewhere, you would pick the child, you kiss the child, you hug the child, you always touch the child. And touch is one of the most sensitive communication that there is among human beings. When you touch somebody, it makes them feel that they have a sense of belonging. It's so emotionally powerful. Just by laying your hands on somebody and touching them, not praying for them, not doing deliverance. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about touch, emotionally connecting with somebody. It's such a powerful tool. Yet we don't do that with our children. All of us are guilty at some point. Because
sorry to
no, please.
Growing up, the only time you got a hug from your parents was and probably you've returned from secondary school as an adult, a teenager, because most of us went to boarding schools. So when you come back home, they'll give you a hug, or you've traveled, you've come back, you get a hug, and end of story.
And that's it for the whole year. So if you haven't traveled the whole year, there isn't a hug. And this is a practical experience. We all went through it. I mean, as you're sharing your story, I'm just thinking, I didn't go to boarding school, so that means the whole year I never got a hug. Unless I travel and come back, there's no hug. And that is a reality.
And also at that time our society was different, and our children are growing up here and they are seeing all these things on social media and affection, and if we are not able to show that, it impacts on them negatively. So we need to be able to, that some of the positive techniques we can use is to listen to our child or children. Listening is a whole heap topic, and it falls under skills of communication. That's another thing. So listening, telling them that I love you, so it's showing them that they are valued. If you tell your child you love them so much, they don't need someone out there to come and tell them that they are loved. I know a pastor who says his two daughters says that the man that will marry them will have to do more than what the pastor does for them as a father. Because
every second he's sending them messages of reassurance, messages of
that's
encouragement, messages of positive reinforcement, encouraging them. So they said if their husband can't beat that, or the man that wants to marry them can't beat that, then they are not worthy of their love. So that's something. So this is what we are saying. I mean, yours may not be to that extreme. I don't know if this is called extreme, but that's what they shared.
No, it's
so
normal, but because of our background, it's like it's an extreme, but it's not. To other cultures, that is the normal.
It's within reason.
Yeah.
It's reasonable. You see, I'm already exposing myself.
No, it's good. We are here to learn. So if something is working for you and your family and you're sharing, I think we'll all learn from it, and parents out there may adopt some of it to see how best.
We have to be mindful that the child's needs and behavior will change all the time. As a parent, be mindful that your child's needs and behavior is changing all the time. And that is key in this day and age. I always say this, and I say it from a proud point of view, not because it's negative, but I think it helped. When mobile phones were a new craze in the system, I always told my children, you don't get a mobile phone until you start secondary school. So they don't get a mobile phone from the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up until the age of 11, 12. No mobile phones. And all the children went through that phase. No mobile phones. And now I'm even thinking I should have pushed it forward. I should have left it till 15. You know, it's not about the bills that you have to pay. But what are they doing with the mobile phone at the age of 6, 7, 8? That was one of my parenting skills. I don't know if it works for you.
I did a similar thing. I didn't give the children mobile phones until they were much older. And even a few days ago, I was telling my husband that if I were to start all over again, I wouldn't be giving the children laptops. Because they are in their rooms for long hours. You don't know what they are doing on the laptop, who they are talking to, who they are interacting with, and it worries me. And when you say, "Oh, can you bring your laptop so that I can do something on it?" They are more
protective of their laptops,
and they are more savvy than I am. So they click something and you don't even know what they've.
They've all got password on there. You can't access nothing. You can't. But when you ask for their laptop, they say, "Mom, what's wrong with your laptop?"
At the moment, I don't have a laptop, so I can use that excuse to go on theirs. But if I have to do it all over again, I get the big one in the communal area, and we can all use it so that I can keep an eye on things, because it's worrying sometimes the amount of time they spend on these devices and not talking to you, because there've been times that we've tried, they are in the lounge, you go and sit with them, and then they're off.
I mean, they don't want you near them when they're on their laptop, their phones. They don't want you near them as a parent. But there are dangers out there. And we need to know what our children are doing when they're on the internet. It's one of your techniques for you to find out. How you're going to find out. I may tell you, you know what, sneak and snoop. But then your children may be too smart for you, for you to sneak and snoop.
The thing is, they are in their bedrooms doing it.
With the door closed.
With the door closed. You have to knock. You can't just walk in. You have to knock to be allowed in, to be given permission to enter, because you are expecting them as individuals. So it can be difficult. It can be challenging.
Positive parenting requires you to set boundaries for the child at any stage of their development. As you're instilling values and training and guiding and directing positively, you need to set boundaries. Okay, communicate these boundaries clearly with the child. Let them know that this is it. And we do that sometimes, but we do it harshly and we do it through force. So when the child wants something and you insist they can't have it, but you don't have an explanation as to why they can't have a laptop or they can't have a mobile phone, and you don't explain anything to them. I mean, if you have to find an excuse, it may not be the actual reason, but it's better for you to give them some reason, because the children that we are bringing up today, they want reasons. They are not the children that will say, okay, and that's it. We used to say, okay, and that's it. We go to our room and then we talk among our other siblings. Mommy says, I can't have this. And then your sibling will say, but why? I don't know. And that's where it ends. It goes no further. The child will come and ask you, Mommy, why can't I have it? Daddy, why can't I have it?
Yeah, even they won't go and then come back. There and then
they will ask you.
Because they are from a different generation, and that is what they're used to.
That is how things are today. But you as a parent, you need to set boundaries. Why? You love them, so you set the boundaries from a loving point of view. Don't set boundaries that limit your children, and don't set boundaries that hinders their progress. Okay, you one of the boundaries I don't like hearing at all. They are lucky, they've got everything, they've got schools and and me, I didn't have a school and I had to, I don't like hearing that at all. Okay, they are not lucky. It's not luck, it's what they are living with now. I mean, now we live in a society, whether the child likes it or not, if your child don't go to school, as a parent, the social services will knock on your door. That's why we have registration of birth. You register them for a reason. By the time the child is 3 years old, if they are not at school, 4 years old, they are not at school, the social service will knock on your door. And you have to tell them why you're not taking your child to school. Some parents do homeschool their children. The arrangements have to be clearly defined, and social service have to be fully aware, and for you to produce evidence that that's what you're doing at home. You cannot say you're homeschooling the children and all you're doing is they're sitting on computers from day to night. So you have to set boundaries. You have to set boundaries every aspect of their life, what they are allowed, entitled to, what you are willing to give, what you're not willing to give. And it also helps them to, you teach them the negotiation skills as well through that, because you negotiate certain things with them. And then you also teach them the value of delayed gratification. Not everything they are going to get on the spur of the moment. So setting boundaries for your children as a parenting skill is key. It's so key. It's so important. The challenges will be there. The children are not always going to say yes to everything. If they are like my children, you have to have 10 reasons for every boundary you set. But you have to have those boundaries. Again, you have to have rewards and discipline. So when you discipline your child, you reward them.
And not the kind of discipline that we experience, as we said earlier on, with smacking and... No,
we're not. The discipline here is not the smacking discipline. The discipline here is teaching the child a value and having the effort, the time, the skill to get the child to learn that value. Okay, for them to start exhibiting that value, and you reward them. Rewards are very important in our parenting. You have to reward your child in all ways. The reward is not always in monetary form. It's not always a financial thing. A hug is a reward. A praise is a reward. Affirmation is a reward. Where you affirm your child, you give them, encouragement. Yes, they got a C in their grade, but yes, you've done so well. You've done well. But I think you can go forward. You can push yourself. If you only miss the B by 5 points, then next time work harder. But before you go there, you've already said to the child that you've done well. And you've praised them, you've acknowledged them, you've given them the hug, the love, the treats and everything. Then you come back. So you reward discipline. You reward discipline in a way that makes the child flourish. Not smacking or hitting or beating. And if it means withholding, Because there were times I would take the laptops and the computers away for them to go to the books. Because those days there were no coursework on internet. They had to use the books to study. Now everything is online. You can't take the laptop away. You can't take the iPads away. They need them to be able to do their coursework. They need them to be able to do various things. Even some of their homework is all a project that is online. But look to see that they are using that time and your internet that you're spending money to pay for the right reasons, and reward them. So reward and discipline is key. Setting boundaries is key. And being able to show you love and you care for your children and letting them know that you do is key. Spending time with them is key.
Yes.
In positive bringing.
Talking to them. We've talked about that previous discussions about communicating with your children. And I think a lot of us lack in that respect, that we don't spend enough time chatting to them, talking to them.
We don't have time, do we?
No, but we have to make time, because
we cannot afford to carry on without making time for our children. Some of the things that we've experienced negatively as parents is because of lack of time and commitment to our children. We are not committed, not uninvolved. Do you know what I mean? We are there as parents and we say, oh, I've provided a house, there's food in the fridge, there's water in the house, you can bathe, you can eat, there's bed, you can sleep, and that's what I'm doing for you as a parent. And some of us have done that, thinking that is what parenting is all about.
But it's not.
And we are out there chasing our tail.
It's not enough at all, because all the spending time with them, talking to them, you get to hear how they are feeling, what is bothering them, because we assume that they don't have any problems, but they do. The little things that will be of no value to us or importance to us as adults are very important to them. And sometimes they encounter challenges in school and with their friends, they fall out and they want to talk about it. But if you've not set that boundary, that commitment with them previously, made room that they can come to you and talk to you about things, how they are feeling, express any issues that they are
concerns, worries.
The
children
they wouldn't come, and they'll be bottling it up. And we know, we've been hearing about a lot of mental health issues recently, and most of them start from childhood. That has not been discussed, treated, and then it blows up. So we need to invest time to speak to our children, to show interest in what they are doing, how they are feeling, so that they can offload onto us. Feel free, feel comfortable that, oh, this thing that is troubling me, is worrying me, I can go to mommy, I can go to daddy to offload, to talk to them about it, and they will sit down and discuss it and make them feel okay. Because some of the children, even making friends, is difficult for them. They don't know how to make friends. And because we are adults, we say, oh, if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, fine. But to them, it's a big issue.
It is.
It is. And it plays on their mind for so long, and if it's not addressed, then it turns into other.
But that is what this social world we live in now, the media world that we live in now is all about. People have accounts on various platforms and how many followers they have. And that's what people are looking at. So if your child doesn't have a friend, someone they connect with, it's a big issue. Whether you accept it or not, it is a big issue. Now, the social media is just something else. And you may have 10,000 followers, but you don't know any of them. But you know a friend, and that no one can take away from you. So if a child is finding it difficult to bond with any children, I mean, as a parent, I can think back when my children found friends and they would talk about going to have sleepover and invite the children to come and sleep over. I remember going through that phase where you have to make yourself available. And I remember, especially with the last one, there was always a prescription of items to get. Because when this person comes, they don't eat this, they don't eat that, they are this, they are that. So there is a criteria for you to meet. And the parents will come and check and make sure that you understand this as a parent before their child comes through your front door. So it's something that if you don't allow your children to do, part of their social needs are not met. Because as you say, when they are there together in their room, playing with their dolls or whatever they are playing with, you have free time. You can go and sit downstairs and have a cup of tea or chin wag on the phone and do whatever you want to do. So when your children have friends, it takes pressure away from you as well. But not just any friend. People that they can connect with on an intelligent level, intellectual level, emotional level, psychologically. They can connect positively. Not friends that are going to leave them wayward. So some people have said that you need to know your children's friend. And as they say, show me your friend and I'll show you. But when they are children, this thing doesn't really apply so much because they are still learning, they are still getting to know each other, and they kind of move from friend to friend fairly quickly. They are it will be good by the time from year 3 till year 6 if they have consistently the same friend. Then you know your child has developed and they've learned something. So when we talk about train, I think I want us to go back to the word training because of what we're talking about. Because when you're going to teach your child certain things, you need to understand what it means to train a child. So parenting is training, impacting, instilling values, skills, supporting your child to grow up emotionally, socially, psychologically, physically, intellectually, spiritually. So you're teaching them these things. What are you teaching your child when it comes to spiritual aspects of things? I don't want to go there. I don't want to start preaching this afternoon. Let's stick with the social part of things, if you know what I mean. But what are you teaching your child as a parent right now? Spiritually. What are you teaching your child? Are you teaching them to follow things on social media? Where pastors on social media are saying all manner of things. And there is no biblical grounds for those things. And that's what you want to encourage your child to do. Or are you taking them to the Word of God? As a family, you're sitting down and learning the Word of God together. You need to ask yourself these questions. If you're listening to us this afternoon, now is a time for you to write certain things down. You need to think certain things through. Don't leave your child to society, for society or the television to bring your child up. There are certain children's programs that I wouldn't allow my children to watch. And I still stand by those values. Okay? And now, not every program they will call me to come and verify before they watch anyway. But I've done my bit.
Yes. Because you've done it from infancy. You've instilled those values there. So
I've done my bit. So now if they go and watch something they are not supposed to watch, they won't dare come and talk to me about it because there will be no room for discussion on that topic. Do you know what I'm saying? But you as a parent must know what you want to instill in your child. All of us come from different cultural backgrounds. All our social upbringing are different. I will be proud to say my upbringing is different from you, Auntie Lottie. But that does not mean that in this day and age we don't have common denominator. There are certain things that we all have to agree that we have to do. You have to instill values, positive values, social values that promote, community connection, social inclusion in your child. You cannot instill values that excludes them. Then you are going to what I don't want to talk about. I don't want to mention the word, but maybe I should so that someone knows what I'm talking about. So when we talk about training, we're talking about teaching. Now, teaching is a skill. You have to find ways to communicate with your child. You have to find ways to listen to your child. You have to find ways to share information. One of the ways I share information with my children is through one of the social media platforms. When I see something and I think is so positive, and I've not been able to communicate that from my perspective, from my understanding, for the child to understand, I send a link. And I say, please watch, it's very informative.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back and say, did you watch that? Did you listen to that? Did you read that? What do you think? Sometimes the response is, but I know this already. And I'm like, okay, I need to know what you know. I wasn't aware you know anything. I didn't know you knew this already. Now you're telling me you know. Now please let's have a dialogue. I need to know what you know, so that I can understand. So it's an opportunity. Use the media if you can positively to influence your child. Allow them to thrive. So you need to teach them a particular skill. Teach them through behavior. Give them the opportunity to sustain that practice. So when you've taught a child something, you need to give the child the opportunity to sustain that practice. That is to say, when you've allowed your child an exposure, don't let it be a one-off experience, but give them the opportunity to practice it, so that they can develop themselves, they can develop their skills, they can develop what it is. So you need to help them to develop, to improve themselves. Help your children to develop, to improve themselves. So that is the bit when we talk about the training, what you're actually aiming to achieve and what you're doing. So when we go back to the fact that when you're teaching your children, you need to set boundaries. You need to give them reward and discipline. These are the things we are talking about. Whatever it is you're doing in the house, have social inclusion at the back of your mind. Will this be acceptable in society? Yes. Give them praise, push them to the limits as much within reason. Every child is unique. Every child is different. Every child has their capabilities. What might take a child 2 years to do might take another child 3 years to do. And when we talk about children with special needs, that's another whole ball game. So you cannot say my child is this and that and always look over the fence and compare. The grass will always be greener until you get there, then you see the weeds. So don't always compare your children. And even in the same house, and you've had the two children, be very mindful as a parent that they are not the same. The way you speak with John might not be the same you will speak with Andrew. Andrew might need a different way of communicating and bonding and understanding and rewarding and discipline. Because you can discipline Andrew in such a way that when you withhold certain things from Andrew, he will still learn the discipline and still be able to understand what you're trying to communicate. But if you withhold from John, he don't care. You can withhold for 100 years and it makes no difference to him. But
he might take it in a negative way.
Or he might take it in a negative way as a form of punishment, and it will impact negatively. So we have to.
It's a difficult job.
It is,
but rewarding.
It is, but it's very rewarding. It is very rewarding. It is very rewarding, and you need to keep at it. You can't give up.
No, you can't give up. And also we say you learn as you go along. So if you're fortunate enough to have more than one child, and the experience you learn from the other, you can learn those skills and implement it.
I mean, it's reinforcing. So you will reinforce the positives. And take it along. It helps you. It makes your job easier. So and that will come under the heading keeping your cool. Okay. So you need to keep your cool. It's not everything you fly off the handle. It's not everything you fly off the handle. Remember that. Oh, I went through this experience with, child A. And this is what I did. And it helped both of us, both parties. So, you can reinforce it and teach them to the other children. And likewise, the things you did that wasn't positive, try not to repeat those ones. Because if they were not positive with this child and you've learned from it, maybe whatever it is that you want to do is a good thing. but the approach was wrong, or the timing was wrong, or something was not quite right. So you didn't quite get the desired result. And if you feel it's a value, it's a skill, it's something that your child or children will benefit from, because in society other children are benefiting from it, then you will have to readdress that in a different way. So you need to keep your cool. It's very important. It's so important to find ways to relieve stress from yourself and be able to manage the children in a better environment. If you are too stressed, you cannot cope with anything.
No, you can't.
That's why it's good to take a break.
Yeah, and also the atmosphere in the home will be affected because remember we
tension.
Said, from the beginning they are looking at the world through your eyes, especially when they are much younger. And they are going to pick all these things and carry them through. So we need to have a good positive atmosphere at home. I know it's not always feasible, but we have to try as much as
it's not
possible.
always feasible because of work commitment, sometimes financial stress. I mean, the finances of the family unit is overstretched. There are certain things, there are other factors. The fact that both parents are at work, or one parent is always at work and one parent is left to manage the children on their own. Or you might be a single parent and you are juggling work and you're juggling managing the house, managing the bills and all that. It can be stressful. Keep your cool. One thing I must say is don't offload onto your child. That's not a good parenting skill. Don't offload onto your child. Some of us have hindered our children emotionally through doing that. And the children have become the parent in the house instead of them being a child. Okay. So be mindful how, build positive relationship with your child and relate positively with your child, engage positively with your child, love your child positively. But your child is not your counselor. Okay? Your child... your child is not your counselor.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree totally with that. But does that not come through our different cultures? Because there are certain cultures that they feel that, because even sometimes when you watch programs, we have to tell the children. We have to tell the children. I'm like, they don't need to know.
Positive relationship with your children. They cannot manage the family budget for you. If you as a parent is not managing the family budget, don't expect your child to come and manage your family budget. A child of 15-year-old cannot manage your family budget for you. Okay. That does not negate the fact that the child of 15-year-old need sanitary pads. They need a new trainers. They need a pair of jeans. Don't let your children go to school looking like they are deprived. Do you know what I'm saying? So don't let your children become financial managers of the family budget.
That will even cause problems for you, because when your children go to school looking unpresentable, the teachers are looking and
they will be asking questions.
And
they will find ways to speak with the child, engage with the child, and the response of the child is gonna either add to your woes or prompt you to do something about the situation. So your children are not there to manage the family budget for you. If you as a mother or as a father doesn't manage the budget, but you're every month buying new pairs of shoes, clothing, whatever for yourself, because you as a parent has to look presentable, your child can look after themselves, and children don't need so much, and you need to look presentable. So every excess or every surplus of income goes towards you as a mother. For us, we need to buy our hairpiece, go and get our facials, whatever we need. Go to the salon, go and do our hair, and these things are not cheap. And we are doing them rapidly, and we are not worried about how our children are looking. It's a parenting skill that you need to rectify. You cannot continue to look $1 billion where your child look like a pauper. That doesn't work. It doesn't look right on you. And likewise, if you're a mother and your husband, or other way around, we need to look at these things. It's all part and parcel of it, and we need to do that from building a positive relationship with our children. You need to be able to spend time with your child, communicate. We leave it and we don't do it, because children, they have siblings, they have their own siblings, they can do this, they can do that, and sometimes it's good for the children to interact on their own, but as a parent, you have to be there
for long periods.
You have to be there. You have to be there, because you cannot allow your child to behave in a manner that is not adding to society or not helping them develop, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. You need to do what you need to do for that child.
Okay, on that note, shall we end there, or do you want to add something before? Because our time is up.
That's fine.
Yeah. And we'll continue next week.
Yeah.
God willing.
That's fine.
I've enjoyed the program so much, and I hope our listeners have enjoyed it too and have benefited from all the discussions. And next time we will look at the things, some of the things we have talked about them, but go in depth about some of the things that influences our style of parenting. And and add other areas to it.
Okay.
I find my notes.
So we will look at the different styles of parenting more in detail. So if you are an authoritarian parent, what are you actually doing? What is it? What are the benefits of that, and what are the pros of that? Because everything has pros and cons. So we can look at what are the pros and what are the cons of each parenting style, and maybe that will help somebody in order to become a better parent, because that's what we are aiming for. That's what we hope for, to build a community of social inclusion, where everybody is valued, where everybody thrives, where everybody is included, and the children feel loud and included, as you said, in everything, and to reduce the rise in help minimize. We can't eradicate it totally, but work towards minimizing mental health issues in our children, because it's on the rise at the moment, and see what we can do to help us parents. Definitely. Because we play a major role of bringing up, training these children in a positive way to impact positively on society. Definitely. So we'll end the program here, and thank you so much to all our listeners for tuning in. Those who are watching us on Facebook, we thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I hope that you have enjoyed the program as well, and taken some positives from it. And we'll continue, God willing, next week. Have a pleasant week, and thank you for your company.
And
God
thank
bless
you for listening. Bye for now. Bye-bye.